I'm just going to create a quick reference video in case you need to set this up again a second time or need help with it. This is how to get GitHub set up and working with the ed editor so that you can push and pull changes and not clobber anybody else's work, and really kind of make it possible for multiple people to be working on the ed editor inside of a repository on the same set of files at the same, at the same time. So I'm going to come over here to my account. I'm logged into GitHub. You will have needed to be added to and have permissions to the repository that we're going to be working with before you do this. That should be true for everybody. I'm going to click on my icon here and go to settings. And then I'm going to come over here to the left and click on developer settings. And what we want to do is create a personal access token. And we'll want to select fine-grained tokens and come and generate a new token. And I'm going to call this EEOC process models. You can call it anything. It's just the token name that's going to give you access to the repository. I don't usually enter a description. The resource owner, that should be, for the purposes of what we're doing right now, Sartography, because that's who owns it. If that changes, you'll pick something different here. And we're going to select a specific repository. We're just going to select the EEOC process models. And then when that's selected, we're going to need to add two permissions. One is contents. Oh, nice. And then that will add metadata. So both of those are set up. The access here to contents needs to be read and write, because we're going to want to push changes up to it. And I'm going to generate a token. And once you generate that, it's going to give you this token. You only get to see it once. So copy that and save it someplace safe. And we'll be using it here again in a minute. So with that done, we can come back into the ed editor. In there, you should have a configuration file. edconfig.bpmn, and we're going to select that, select the script task, and come in and edit this file. And what we want to do is change your GitHub token to be the one that you just copied in there. And I'm doing this for EEOC's GitHub token, so I'm just kind of setting it up that way. I've got my configuration over here, so the EEOC process models use that token. The ref here also needs to change, and I'm going to change that to my first branch, and save it. So this repository sort of allows you to kind of see this lets you specify what branch you're going to be working from. And what we're going to do here in a second is create that branch. So remember my-first-branch. So I'm going to save and close that. And I'm going to come back to GitHub. And I'm going to go find that repository. So I'm going to look for Sartography's EEOC process models. It might be over to the side. You might need to go to Sartography, find the Sartography organization, and then you'll be able to find the EEOC process models there. But only it's a private repository. You'll notice so only people who have access to it will be able to see and read and edit these things. And if we look here, there's a main branch, and then there's this basis group and a testing branch. But what we want to do is create a new branch. To do that, we're going to view all branches, and we're going to create a new branch. We're going to call it, my first branch, and create that branch. And now there's a new branch that exists on this repository. And then I'm going to come back over to ed, and I'm going to go to my EEOC process models. And if I've got some changes in here, like let's say I'm going to I'm just going to make a change to the disability BPMN diagram, and maybe what we do is in one of these I'll add some instructions and say these are new instructions for this task, and I'm going to save and close it. And then I'm going to go and push it up. So we are now looking at this new branch. I guess one of the other things I should do before I do this is reload this thing. So when you make changes to that edconfig file, it caches stuff. So I just want to make sure that I've reloaded it so that when we do this sync, but you can see these are the new instructions, text is there, and I'm just going to come over here and do that sync, and I'm going to push it up to the new branch. New directions for disabilities is the change that I just made, and I'm going to submit it. And I'm just going to wait a second. Hopefully it comes back and lets me know that it was able to update. And when that says success, I'm going to come back over to GitHub, and I'm going to, a lot of times you'll see this update right away. My first branch has recent pushes 2 seconds ago, and I can do a compare and pull request. So I might do many pushes. I might make multiple changes, and as I'm making those changes, I'll keep pushing up. Each time you do that, it's going to make changes to this my first branch. So I'm just going to click and look at it. And you can see that you can see where I made that change. But and so you've got this history. This branch is one commit ahead of main. I can see new directions for disabilities. If I scroll down, I can see the changes that have been made. And it's many more than I thought I had made, right? So I definitely have some local changes here, but this clues you in. These are the things that have happened. I can see where my new instructions are there, but I can also see that this was changed from age to age test, and that the screening was there's some changes here. So it gives me a second to pause and think, oh, are all these changes things that I want to commit, and is this right? I'm kind of jumping in the middle, so I didn't remember that I'd made these changes. It should be clean. If you follow these processes and steps, when you go to push something up, it'll always be exactly the changes that you intended. But when everything is good, I can create a pull request, and I can have a title on it about all the things that I've done, and I can write detailed descriptions here, and I can create this pull request. And now, separately, I might reach out to Alex or me or somebody else on the team, and I would say hey, and there's even a way to reach directly out to Alex and make a request. And so that'll send Alex a message or an email, and it'll say, hey, I'd like you to take a look at my pull request. And he can come in here to this pull request 17. It'll send him a link, and he can look at the pull request. He can see what changes were made, just like we were looking at previously. So we can say, okay, that looks good to me. All this makes sense. And if he likes it, and it feels good, he can merge that pull request. And once that gets merged into main, he can then go back to his editor and pull the changes down. I'm going to close this pull request because I don't want to go in and make any changes to the system that shouldn't be there. But this is how you can push all of the changes that you've been working on up and have them available for somebody else to review and check. After you have merged it, delete that branch. And that is possible here. Once you've merged the stuff in, there's always an option to come in and delete the branch. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that branch. And now if I come back into the top level, the top level repository, you'll see that branch no longer exists. It's not available in the dropdown. And then I would start the whole process over again. I would go to the main, I would view all branches. I would create a new branch, give it a name, like my second branch, and like just continue to step forward from there. Go back to the ed editor, go to my configuration, open this up, change my branch in the settings here from like that. Shoot, scrolling too far. My first branch, would now be like my second branch or my new feature or whatever next set of things you're going to be working on. But what you want to do is create a branch, update it here, do your work, push your changes as you're making them throughout the day. And then when it's all ready and you'd like to get it in front of someone else, do that pull request. They can merge it, then they'll delete the branch, and then you start with the next group of work. I hope that helps, and let me know. Yeah, I'm here if you need anything else, but it's nice to have a quick reference video. So that's what this is. Thanks.